I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up, I'm home. Whoa!
Fly ball to left field. Happ underneath it, in front of the wall. This ball's gone! Andrew Vaughn ties the game with one swing. He's done it again. Contreras with a drive to left field, and the Brewers have the lead. Chourio with a drive, center field, way back there, and gone! A 3-run shot from Jackson Chourio, and the Brewers lead 7-3. Brewers pitchers have retired 14 in a row. One strike for a 2-0 series lead. Got him! Uribe strikes out the side in the ninth. And the Brewers have a stranglehold in this series. The Milwaukee Magic keeps rolling.
What is up, Wisconsin? Let's go. Did you think? Did you think? I did. Josh, did we think?
No.
I did. Not trying to give myself credit, but I did. I believe I actually said that this would be a sweep, and we have a chance. I'll go back and check the records. Don't you think I won't? What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome in. Inside Wisconsin Sports on your radio. Trevor, Josh, the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Follow along on Twitter. Trevor Thomas is at Trevor Thomas IW, and Josh Albrecht is at On Air Josh. The show is there as well, at Inside Wis Sports. The Facebook and Twitter for The Fan, at The Fan Milwaukee. The website, thefanmilwaukee.com. And the Nick Law Fan Talk and Text Line. I cannot wait to talk to you guys today. 414-677-1250. 414-677-1250. Hit us up. How you feeling, Milwaukee? What's going on?
Man, does that feel good?
Our thanks to TBS, TNT, True TV, Turner, whatever they were. Thanks for the call. That was beautiful. We ended yesterday's show with a chat with Lane Grindle about how Brewers small ball baseball has prevailed and that chicks dig the long ball, but it wasn't necessarily something that the Brewers were a regular in terms of doing. Yet, they have the guys that can do it. And I believe Josh and I both said within the last week that, yes, we will win the majority of games by hitting singles and scoring runs. Saturday was proof of that. Yesterday, all 7 RBI came off of home runs.
Yep.
Good luck.
Yeah.
If this is the way the Brewers are going to play, good luck. I don't you ever hear when the Packers win the Super Bowl, they should just shut down the state?
Yeah.
The next day.
Oh,
but then there's
don't get ahead of yourself.
Oh, I'm not. I'm just saying
my
if this
Lord,
continues, holy.
Yeah. We're gonna need a whole week. The state will need a week.
For the sake of my liver, I really hope they win it, if they win it, on a Friday.
Yeah,
because I'm going to need a day.
Enough.
Oh, holy man. Well, that was a blast. I know you were out at Kelly's Bleachers prior to the game. I was listening to you guys on the way home from another FVL win for the JV
Hey,
team.
there you go.
Awesome. Rainy, little chilly, body aches on the way home. I'm like, oh boy. Took a quick shower and settled in for what was an awesome Brewers game. And, man, I wish, can you and I live text each other during the game so other people can see it? Because I really wish people could experience what I experienced. And it's just amazing. My favorite one.
Okay, here we go.
I'm on the floor.
Yes.
You literally said to me, I'm on the floor, and I just screamed into the carpet.
Yep. That's what happened.
Give us the play-by-play. What happened?
Well, so that was just the Churio home run. That was that at bat and the way it landed. I literally fell to my knees, then to the floor, and literally just screamed into the carpet because it's just such an emotional roller coaster ride these last two games. But the ups are so up, and it's just I didn't know what else to do. I'm at home. I'm watching it at home. The baby's already asleep. And I'm just screaming into the carpet with just this feeling of not only excitement, but I'm in disbelief. I'm in disbelief from what I'm seeing on my television.
My dad came up from back home in Jefferson, Wisconsin for Rhodey's football game last night. We got to sit on the couch together and watch
awesome,
this game, and it was amazing. Now, did I need to eat an entire pizza by myself? Well, I didn't need to, but there I was. I was stress eating a little bit. I shouldn't have brought the whole pizza to the table. Like I should not have grabbed. You made a
decision. You lived with the decision.
Yeah, well, here I am. Full. I'm still full.
Yeah,
but
there you go.
Full of excitement, and I am full of Brewers baseball. It's good when the Brewers are in the top 5 minutes of a Sports Center when there's a lot of highlights to show.
Yeah.
In terms of home runs.
Well, and
I want to hug Matt Arnold. That's the only thing I was going to say.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, who doesn't at this point?
Jeez.
I mean, my Lord. I want to, I'm going back and forth with a bunch of people, and if you listen to the leadoff show that Tommy and I did from Kelly's Bleachers last night, one of the big things, the conversation, and I'm not saying it shouldn't have been, but the conversation was all about the starting pitching and what was going to happen after Ashby. How does Ashby do? Who comes out after Ashby? Is it Priester? Is it Quintana? Is it Miz? What do they do here? And it was all about that. And my brain just kept going to, can the offense just continue to be this offense and then it doesn't matter?
I will give you that credit, buddy. You said, can we talk about the offense? Because the offense is going to be the difference in the game. You were right.
Well, and it's just, it's one of those things that I think, my anxiety and my fan-anxiety brain was like, I don't know the answer to this. I'm not going to know the answer to this. It's easier for me to just focus on the offense. Then that makes that question mark go away regardless. And when, but I also said, I don't think it's sustainable for this team to peck away in every single game to win. I understand that that's their makeup. That's their DNA. That's how they did so well in the regular season. I brought up how the postseason is different, though. You don't have as many opportunities at singles and whatever. You got to take advantage. You got to have some of the long ball. And the question became, well, but that's not this team. Andrew Wagner Drew Wagner came on and he was talking to us and he said, I don't know why you would expect the Brewers to start hitting home runs now. They haven't done it all season. Just keep doing what you're doing. And the Brewers said, nah, we can do that too. And so they listened to me and they proved me wrong. And they go back out there and they say, we can get men on base and then we can hit the ball out of the park just like any other team. It was a huge statement for me from this Brewers team of just reminding people we can beat you in multiple ways, which is so important in postseason baseball because every single game is different. Every single game is a chess match and every single game is unique.
All 7 runs were scored with 2 outs last night.
Yep.
Every last one of them. That's insane. The Brewers pitchers, which we talked a lot about, and we will again, retired 15 in a row. 3 up, 3 down the last 5 innings for all you math majors. That's what that was.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, can we talk about, I don't know what word I can use on the radio. When Contreras hit his home run.
Oh, yeah. We're talking about this a lot.
Stood there
and
watched it. And then turned around and slowly put his back. It was amazing.
Listen.
I have a word that you would typically say. Can we say that on the radio?
I don't know. I don't know what the word is.
Nah, we'll go for it.
Okay. Yeah, let's not test it.
I don't want you. Let's not.
Listen, Wild Bill is in a different mindset right now. I mean, my man, it's not even just about how he's playing. It is his swagger. It is how he is acting.
Moxie.
He is the definition of dialed in through those first 2 games. And please pack that, Contreras. Put that in your carry-on and take that to Chicago.
So we were nervous at the end of the regular season that we didn't see that. Dude, duh. They had nothing to play for. Like,
listen,
why?
I know it is a Take Back Tuesday, and there are plenty of things to take back.
Oh, I've got some take backs.
And I expect a lot of fans to be texting in this morning on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line 414-677-1250 with some takes they would like to take back. However, I'm not going to take that one back. I listen, the fact that this team is performing the way they are through 2 games, finishing the regular season the way they did, is amazing. But I still think it's okay to feel like, hey, you didn't come into the postseason hot. You just were hot when you started. They still didn't end the regular season the way I think they wanted to.
I think they were playing coy.
Oh,
Everything
I
that
agree.
we've seen
I think
in
a
these
little
last 2 games, everything we've seen in these last 2 games shows us they knew exactly what they were doing and who they are. And they came out as if they were in the middle of a 14-game win streak. That is how they're playing right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And 3 runs, they're not going to keep a lot of teams to 3 runs or under, I should say. But winning 9-3 and then 7-3, like the offense showed up. Josh, that's exactly what you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and we're going to get into it a little bit. As much as we're going to celebrate today, I know that we are on opposite sides of that decision of Ashby going out and how that went. And I think it's going to be an interesting conversation because I think you wavered a little bit too throughout the day on that decision. But we're going to save that for a different segment because right now, overall, what a game. What a game and what a bounce back right away. Both games from this Brewers offense just proving, okay, but now it's our turn.
Yeah, the Ashby convo is going to come up in the morning mind dump. That's at 7:02.
Yeah.
Get yours in now. If you got to get something off your chest, off the top of your head, we want to know about it. 414-677-1250. I don't know if I'll waver on whether it was the right call or not, but I was wavering on trying to understand the strategy behind it. That I love that, though. I spent a lot of time thinking yesterday, wonder what's going on here. What are they doing? I mean, after the game, Murph came out and said, we had no intentions of pitching Priester today. And I was like, you dirty dog, because that's good. That's really, really good. All right, Game 3, Wednesday, 4:08, the dump in Chicago. Brewers at Cubs for all the NLDS marbles. And Murph came out today when asked last night, I think it was last night, early this morning, whatever time it was. He was asked this question in regards to who is pitching Game 3, and he unequivocally gave this answer.
Do you know what your plans are for Game 3 starting pitcher, if you're ready to announce that yet or not?
Game 3 will be Priester.
Game 3 will be Priester.
Okay. I think this is so funny because going into Game 2, he is literally giving out the test without the notes. I mean, it is, we are spending the entire day guessing, right? What's going to happen, what the plan is. And then after winning Game 2, he doesn't even, we have some options. Blah, blah. No, it's just, Priester will be out there for Game 3.
I cannot wait to sit you down and have a talk, Josh. I want to tell you what's inside Murphy's head just a little bit based on what I kind of came to a conclusion about last night with Ashby starting and who came out of the pen. Can you admit, though, that this bullpen has been unbelievable? I heard a stat at the end of the broadcast last night and wrote it down. In these first 2 games, the Brewers bullpen has pitched 10.5 innings, 10 2/3 innings. Forgive me. Give me some cheaters. 10 2/3 innings, struck out 13, and have only allowed 1 run.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously you don't count Ashby in that, even though it was a bullpen game because he started the game. But no, listen, out of the pen, this team has been great, but also it's been the whole team through these first 2 games where you had to win at home. And that was the other thing that I was really thinking about last night, when I'm dialed in with Tommy for 3 hours doing the pregame show is, the Cubs came in to American Family Field going, we got to win 1, right? Go back to Chicago with the series tied so that you can win it at Wrigley. That's their mindset. That's their mentality. And so even though we had so much fun on Saturday and that iconic and legendary and not soon forgotten first inning, we're celebrating that all weekend long, talking about it on Monday before the game. last night. If the Cubs come out and win game 2, it still changes everything because they're still going back to Wrigley with a tied series. And so this is the beauty of postseason baseball. You still have to find a way to win games. You can't, you can't be celebrating the last win too much. And that just hit me at like maybe, I don't know, 6:30 last night, an hour and a half before first pitch of, okay, hey, we got to get back dialed in here for game 2. And this team absolutely was. And now they go down to Wrigley up 2-0, huge advantage. And now just keep the pressure on. Finish this off. It's not done yet.
It is not done yet, nor is our coverage. You guys are on fire with that pregame show. I love listening to that last night. Guest after guest after guest.
Yeah, it's fun. We had a lot of fun.
After the win last night, will the crew get out the brooms for the sweep? Come watch the game with us at Natty Oaks Pub and Eatery on National Avenue in West Allis tomorrow afternoon. Join Wisconsin Sports Daily in the leadoff show with Tommy Wartz tomorrow afternoon at 2, starting at 2 on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
I will be there. I will be there as well. Come listen to some good radio, get pumped up, and then let's watch the Brewers try to take care of business down in Chicago.
First pitch 4:08 tomorrow afternoon. Have you heard from anybody that was there yesterday? How did the Cubs fans show up or not show up?
I have not. I did not hear a ton. I'm glad to see that there weren't social media videos flying all over the place of fights in the stands or things that definitely, I don't know, maybe it was because it was a late game. They they were too tired for that. Maybe it was the rain. I don't know. But was happy to see that at least fans were responsible. Hopefully no stories come out of that this morning. But no, I didn't hear anything about a percentage one way or another, including in post game. There wasn't much asked about the fans in game 2 or, how if there was a split 75-25 or whatever it may be.
Well, nobody talked about it in the post game either. I mean, there's like, oh man, we need to keep our tickets. This has got to do better. Nope. I think we're doing just fine.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, do Brewers fans show up in Wrigley?
I would be very surprised if there wasn't a pretty big presence, considering the fact that it's a potential clinching game.
Yep, I agree. All right, you are listening to Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan Studios. I have questions, and I wrote a number of them down, and one of them has to do with the human being behind the home plate last night. Holy cow. That's part of my Take Back Tuesday, too. Get those in, 414-677-1250. This is The Fan, and we are powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Contreras with a drive to left field, and the Brewers have the lead. A no-doubt shot from William Contreras. And Milwaukee leads 4-3.
William again. Contreras had an unbelievable game, not only offensively, but he had a great game defensively too. And he got him through that. He caught 7 pitchers tonight, a lot with inexperience, never been in the playoffs, and he navigated it pretty well.
Do we know how close we were to being in real trouble with William Contreras this year in his finger? Like that?
No.
It was not well.
No.
Did you ever see a picture?
Yeah, I have.
It was bad.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been crying and not able to type. He was playing a Major League Baseball game.
Well, that's what I'm saying too. I mean, and listen, if you look at just a lot of catchers, right? I mean, they are tough SOBs. Those guys, they play the game. But Contreras just this year has been, I mean, how many times has Murph said, immediately after the game, we were worried about it. He said, I want back in tomorrow.
Bad mamma jamma. Absolutely. All right, what's up, Wisconsin? Welcome back inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It is time, like we do every day, to ask some questions. Get them in. What did you see last night that you're like, huh? What questions do you got? Because there was a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, was there a bunch? The Nicolay Law Fan Talking Text Line, 414-677-1250. 414-677-1250. Here's my first question.
Okay.
If we can change the extra innings rule and eliminate the ghost runner at second for the playoffs, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Why can't we use the ABS system? It's a proven thing. Last night was embarrassing for that behind-the-plate umpire. And you want to talk about, also known as the home plate umpire, by the way.
Yes, same
You want to
same
talk
guy.
about Contreras and his body language last night?
Oh,
there was one hanging curveball that was the strikest of strikes that I've ever seen, and he didn't do anything. And if you rewatch that ump got fooled. Like,
yeah.
His body did what you would expect a hitter to do. Listen, I understand. Human beings are human beings, but so are robots. Like, have you seen the movie I, Robot? Don't, actually.
It's not a good movie.
Because it's scary. Well, it's a decent movie, but it's also scary. Dude, we have the technology, and before you throw it in my face, it's part of my Take Back Tuesday, so let's just hold that for then, okay?
Okay.
We got to do something, man.
Well, they are. That's
next
my thing.
year?
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you could be watching the last postseason where this is a concern. You know?
Well, I don't like it.
Well,
I'm concerned.
Yeah. Especially last night.
Last night was so bad.
Yeah, in a postseason game, that was really rough.
Can't have it in October. And there was some for both sides. Don't get me wrong, but it felt way worse for the Brewers. And maybe that's because we're Brewers fans, right? But there was some calls. And early on, I really think if you go back and watch the sequence, which I know it's coulda, woulda, shoulda, you can't do that. But there was a really, really bad call in the first inning, the top of the first, that ultimately led to that 3-run bomb. Like, you can see the sequence. I went back and watched it. Can't have it. Cannot have it. So that's my question, Josh. If we can change rules from the regular season to the postseason like they do now with this ghost runner, which I don't like anyway. I think that decides way too many games, but I digress. Why can't we change this? Why can't we at least dabble with the ABS in the postseason? Because we're not afraid to change rules.
Yeah, but that's a big change, and it's not starting in the postseason. You know, this is how baseball has done it through everything they did with the pitch clock, with the ghost runner, and it will be with the ABS too. Is that it starts as spring training, and then they'll do regular season, and then they'll put it in the postseason. So there's a chance that it doesn't even get into the postseason next season because it'll be maybe just a regular season. I don't think that'll be the case, because I think that the only reason why the ghost runner isn't is because they're not worried about time constraints for the game during postseason play.
Sure.
But you're going to see it next season. So there's no way they're going to rush it along. It's just, you watched that game last night, and when you're looking at balls and strikes, you're just frustrated. You're just frustrated with who they have behind the plate, and there's nothing that we can really do about it. The nice thing is that the best way to not worry about balls and strikes is to hit home runs and just give yourself some padded lead, and that's what they took care of.
Winning.
I have questions.
Okay, you go.
So William Contreras hit a home run, and then he looked at the dugout and made a phone gesture to his head as if he was making a call, and then hung it up before going around the bases. What do you think that was in reference to, Trevor?
Boy, I have no idea. You clearly have thought about this. I have given this about 3 seconds worth of thought.
Oh, really?
Based on when you just ended that sentence. Yeah, I did not think about this at all. I was just so jacked that happened. That's when we took the lead and didn't give it back.
So,
all right, do tell.
A lot of people, first of all, what I think it was just Contreras saying, you got to make a call to the pen because I just took this guy out of the game. That was it. But a lot of people were taking it a step further to the, that iconic gif that ended up being made of as soon as the ball left the bat in whatever game it was at AmFam, where Counsell was already on the phone. And I'm sitting here going, if that was in the back of Contreras's brain, like thinking that specific of like a dig at Counsell and the Cubs based on that home run, that is a like not even next level. That's like next level troll job out of the box on a home run. I mean, that is like, wow.
That's
were you thinking about that one for a long time?
If that's the case, that's my new favorite thing ever. That is unbelievable. Do you think, I know that the players say they have respect for coaches and managers and all the different things. Do you think the Brewers that were on the Brewers team when Craig Counsell decided to leave Milwaukee and go to the Cubs, how bad do you think that went over in their clubhouse in regards to him? Because what you're saying, if that's the truth, I guess we know how it went over with William Contreras. Do you think there's some of that hangover?
There might be. It's so tough to tell because no player's ever going to admit to that.
Oh, yeah.
They're always like, if you ever asked a professional athlete, at least when they're still playing, that type of question, they're going to give you the, PR answer, and you'll never get that true answer of emotion and anything because they know that they're told not to, So I personally don't think so. I think it was more just a generic, hey, make a call to the pen because I just took this guy yard and you're going to have to go to someone else. That's what I think. But the fact that fans were able to tie it back to that, which was an amazing shot in that game where you could see right behind, and I think, was it Contreras? I don't even remember the batter, but that you could see Counsell in the dugout on the phone practically before the batter leaves the box. I mean, that was an awesome gif that was made that people have been sharing all season long.
Here's a question from the 920 on the Nicolay Law fan talk and text line. Why did that idiot Cubs center fielder try to catch that home run ball and then fall down?
Listen, this is a great question, and it's not even just the one in center field, okay? It was the call of Vaughn's home run and then the Cheerio home run as well. It's these guys going to the wall as if neither ball was even close to being a Superman. Maybe has a chance at that ball. I mean, they weren't even close to catching those.
There was a picture that landed on Twitter last night of him smacking the wall with his glove up, and you can see the ball 20 feet above him.
Circle it, yeah.
And all it said was, hey, man, you were close. That was close.
Yeah.
Well done. It was Vaughn that hit that home run, by the way, where somebody just
Vaughn, yeah.
texted in on the Nicolay Law fan talking text line. So when Vaughn hit that home run, that's when Counsell. I was really hoping you were right, and if that was Contreras,
that would have been next. Amazing. That's what I'm saying. Then that would have been next level. That's why I don't think it was, but I do love the narrative that goes along with it. But yeah, to the 920's question here. Yeah. I mean, the only thing that I could think of is it's the emotions of a postseason game, and it might be frustration. It might be just a hope and a prayer that you're wrong, and that it's not as deep because you don't want it to be a home run. you know that's detrimental. I can't think of any other reason why a professional baseball player who can read fly balls almost with their eyes closed would run into a wall like that thinking maybe they have a shot.
And he peeled himself off the warning track, too.
Yeah.
When that ball, he was like, oh, man, almost had it.
Yeah,
he
darn
acted as if he was close. I love Contreras' home run. That left fielder just stood there.
Yes.
Bam.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Vaughn, did he get a little lucky? That seemed like a really, really, really a high ball.
So this was the thing that I'm going to give the play-by-play announcer on TBS a little bit of a leeway, because a lot of Brewers fans were listening to that call, which, you know what, I'm going to play it here in a second. But they were giving him a lot of grief about saying, Hap is there at the wall, Hap is under it. It might have been just because the ball was so high, he couldn't tell how far it was actually carrying. Here's that call.
Another pail. And it's a high fly ball to left field. Hap underneath it in front of the wall. This ball's gone.
So I think you're right that it was so high off the bat.
Yeah.
It's the classic major league. No, it's too high. It's too high. What do you mean it's too high? It's gone. I think that was the problem. It was just reading it. It was high.
Your Jordy's a big sports fan, right?
No.
He's not.
No, it kills me. It kills me.
Oh.
No,
we have one of those too.
He's going to be the world's tallest scientist.
Riker, our youngest, he's 13. He's not a sports guy. As a matter of fact, just the other day in our house, I was like, hey, did you listen to me this morning? Right? It's all new for us.
Mm-hmm.
And Rhodey, who just texted me, this is where I'm going with this. He was like, I overheard you. Like, not into sports at all.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody needs a 15-year-old boy in their back pocket that absolutely loves sports.
Yeah.
I got a text from my oldest son just now, and it's a screenshot of apparently William Contreras in the post game last night was asked who he was calling. Quote, Brewers fans. I'm going to do everything for Brewers fans. And then it says, do you believe him?
No,
I don't.
I don't either.
No.
I think that he did it in the moment and then is kind of walking it back from a PR standpoint. Because why are you hanging up on us? No, I don't think that makes sense. I don't think that's why.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Click.
Maybe that could be the way. Listen, if that's the case or if it's not, I don't really care. Keep hitting home runs. Keep hitting like you are. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I appreciate you, Rhodes. Thanks for sending that.
Yeah.
He's so good at that. He'll sit there and he'll listen. And I hope you're ready for school. Be nice to your mom.
Pack your lunch.
Yeah, no, he eats the hot lunch.
Oh, there you go. Attaboy.
It's awesome. Hey, tell me more about this spot at Natty Oaks tomorrow. Natty Oaks Pub and Eatery. There's a watch party. You'll be there. So
Yes.
too will Sparky be there. The leadoff show with Tommy will be there. It all starts at 2 at Natty Oaks tomorrow. This is your spot, right?
This is my spot. I love the guys over at Natty Oaks. They do it right. They have a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be a great atmosphere. And the biggest thing is this is game 3. It's an away game, right? So unless you're making your way down to Wrigley, this is not an off day for Brewers fans. This is a potential clinching day for the Brewers, which means so is for Brewers fans. So come out to Natty Oaks, join me, join the rest of the fan. We're going to get loud, we're going to have some fun, and we're going to hopefully watch the Brewers clinch the NLDS and make their way onto the championship series.
In comparison to a hotel that is powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, where are your studios that you're in right now? I'm in Green Bay. This is where I live.
Sure.
How far of a drive is that, hypothetically speaking?
To Potawatomi?
Yeah.
10, 11 minutes.
Okay.
Maybe.
I'm just now getting my voice back from Saturday.
There you go.
If I show up at this watch party,
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to be able to talk on Thursday, right?
Well, I sure hope not. If you can't talk on Thursday, it means that, we were hugging each other and jumping for joy.
You cried again?
I'm probably going to cry again. Yeah,
Cry?
Probably.
This is going to be so awesome.
Dude.
Big old bowl. Do they make chili on Wednesdays?
Yeah, of course.
Final. Okay.
Yeah, listen, you can get that big old bowl of chili any day. I just reserve it for Fridays because what better way to start a weekend than with a big old bowl of chili from Natty Oaks? But we will have celebratory big old bowls of chili on Wednesday if the Brewers can get it done. Very, very excited for tomorrow. Very excited for just what this team has set up, the opportunity for us at Natty Oaks and Game 3.
One of my favorite segments on the show is next because I have no idea what it is, and I'm just as surprised as you are. We call it the most electrifying sound of the day on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome back. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh on your radio. Live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. All right, Josh, time for today's most electrifying sound of the day.
Churiel with a drive. Center field. Way back there. And gone! A 3-run shot from Jackson Churiel. And the Brewers lead 7-3.
This one was an easy one for me. Not only was it a pivotal, the most clutch moment, right? That's what blew this whole thing wide open was Churiel's home run. But after all of the uncertainty and the question marks after game one, not knowing if he was going to be okay to go, all of that, to then see him not only come back, but then have the monster home run that truly put this game what felt like out of any contention. Huge. That was the most electrifying call.
Sparky has some serious crow to eat today. I was listening to Wisconsin Sports Daily on the way to the football game last night, and at the exact same time that the Brewers announced that Churiel was not only playing but leading off, Sparky was going off about how he should not play. Maybe he doesn't play in the series. We cannot risk it. This is a terrible call. And literally, I texted him and said, Churiel's leading off and playing left field. He goes,
hey, Sparky, just so you know.
that is stupid. Stupid.
That's a great Sparky impression, by the way.
No. Yeah, no. How'd I do? Hey, but in his defense,
that's great.
He did want to be wrong.
Oh,
And I can't wait for 2:00 today because our boy was wrong.
That's perfect. Take back Tuesday. Take that back, Sparky.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sparky,
take that
we'll
back.
let you borrow our segment. You can have a Take Back Tuesday. You can let everybody know that maybe you were just a little fired up. And listen, I get what he was saying. We don't want to lose Churiel.
Of course.
Can't do it.
But also, this is when you need the players to play. What are you saving them for the offseason? If he can go, he's got to go. And it proved to be the right decision.
So that's a good question, actually, as we kind of hold this one on from I have questions in the previous segment. At what point do you think like that, Josh, where you have a guy who is clearly a difference maker on this team?
Mm-hmm.
He's got a sore hammy, tightness, whatever it is. They worked him out, up, down, left, and right to make sure that he could go for this game, and they decided he could go. Not only can he go, but he is also he's not DHing. He's playing left field, and he's leading off.
Yeah.
Okay. At what point do you have to think about someone's career versus the now? Jackson's young.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of had a hammy issue this year specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to go, God, we really need him for the future? I don't think you can think that way right now.
You can't when you are the best team in baseball in the regular season. You're in the postseason. You've already got a game under your belt in the NLDS. What other this is it. This is him having the opportunity to build his overall potential Hall of Fame resume. This is when you're doing it. This is when you need to play, if you can play. And I think Drew Wagner's actually said it really well in the on the leadoff show when we were talking to him last night of, is he 100%? No. But not a lot of guys on this team are right now. You played 162 regular games. You're in the postseason. A lot of guys are bruised and beaten up and not playing at 100%, but there's the adrenaline, you're professional athletes, and you're going out there and you're playing baseball.
Pepper Burris was the longtime Packers athletic trainer. We had him on the Inside Wisconsin podcast a while ago. And he said every professional athlete is hurt.
Mm-hmm.
All of them.
Yeah.
Every last one of them is hurt. What we try to prevent is injuries. And there's a difference. That's exactly what you just said. Every one of those guys has something sore, something's hurt, something cramped or doesn't feel good. Injuries are what keep these guys out of games, not being hurt.
Right.
So
now,
is Churiel a little sore? Probably. You ever blown out a hammy, Josh? It's not fun.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it's not. No. But listen, I'm not saying that they shouldn't still be cautious. I think this team is smart. I think they're doing all the steps and the things necessary. Who knows if Murph was swerving him a little bit with his comments and because what Churiel said leading up to game 2 definitely reflected him being able to lead off and play in left. So who knows for sure? I'd prefer that they keep being cautious. I think the big time that comes up, Trevor, is when it comes to pitch count, right? I hate when guys are on like a huge pitch count, especially starters in the postseason. What are you holding their arm for? This is the time. You need him to go the distance now. And we've seen that in the past. I think that was a big thing that Brewers fans got on Counsell for a lot in some of his Brewers postseason runs. But obviously, potential injuries, offensively to an offensive player are different. But I think this Brewers team is handling them correctly. I believe in Murph. I believe in the training staff to assess correctly and know if he can go, he's going to go.
So I emailed you. I did a little research, and I found actually another home run call from last night from Jackson Churio's home run. It's about 6 seconds, dead center field home run. You got it?
No, I don't have it. Sorry.
Hold on. Let me make sure I sent it to the right email. Who did I send it to? I sent it to, yeah, you should have it. Why don't you have it?
You said it's short?
Yeah, it's like 6 seconds, something like that.
Okay, sorry.
All right. Well, I tried.
Oh, wait. Here we go. Is this it?
Back goes Serrano. He'll need a rocket up his ass to catch this one. That baby is out of here.
Yeah, there you go.
That's it.
Yeah.
Harry Doyle on the home run call from Jackson Churio last night.
Yeah.
He'll need a rocket in his ass to catch that one.
It's too high.
Oh, but I was so close. Just watch me pancake the center field wall and make you believe that I actually had a chance.
Too high? You mean too far? No, too high. I thought it was too high.
Time for the morning mind dump. That is next. Get it off your chest. What do you got to say? What are you holding on to from last night?
We're gonna have a conversation in the mind dump.
So Josh and I were at odds almost all day yesterday about this Ashby start.
Yeah.
And I have a very analytical mind when it comes to strategy, of which I love. This is my favorite part of sports, is the strategy behind sports. I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what was happening yesterday and why Ashby was starting and what caused all that. And should that have made us nervous, or is it just okay that we had a bullpen game? But do we do a bullpen game in game 2, or do we not? Like, maybe they're going to pitch Priester. Maybe Ashby's only pitching the first inning. Maybe it's because Bush was supposed to lead off and we threw a lefty, but that didn't happen. He came in later. So there was a lot going on with that. And our next segment is named this by design. We call it the morning mind dump. Just get all the things out of your head. What do you want us to talk about? What do you want to get off your chest? What do we need to get off our chest and off the top of our mind? Get it out of your head. That's why we call this the morning mind dump.
Oh, and there were a lot of things that happened in that game last night that are mind dump worthy as well.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Hey, reminder, Sports Talk on the Fan is presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. The Morning Mind Dump is next. We have a Take Back Tuesday in the 7 o'clock hour. At the top of the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to chat with Mike Spofford from Packers.com. There were some good updates in regards to their injury-prone fellas. A couple of them came out of the woodwork yesterday, including one Christian Watson, who was released from the IR for now. They opened his 21-day practice window. They got some decisions to make in about 20-ish days from now. We'll check in with Spoff on that. This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up, I'm home. Whoa!
And it's a high fly ball to left field. Hack underneath it, in front of the wall. This ball's gone! Andrew Vaughn ties the game with one swing. He's done it again. Contreras with a drive to left field, and the Brewers have the lead. Churiel with a drive, center field, way back there, and gone! A 3-run shot from Jackson Churiel, and the Brewers lead 7-3. Brewers pitchers have retired 14 in a row. One strike for a 2-0 series lead. Got him! Uribe strikes out the side in the ninth. And the Brewers have a stranglehold in this series. The Milwaukee Magic keeps rolling.
Cannot get enough of it. What's up, Wisconsin? Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh is on your radio and maybe on your phone on the Odyssey app. We are live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We're also on YouTube. If you want to check out myself and Josh,
Hi.
Go to YouTube. We are streaming live. I got the hat rocking today, as does Josh. He rocks a hat every day. But for me, it's to cover up the baldness that is my playoff beard on the top of my head.
Yeah, I love it.
I am not shaving that anytime soon if this all keeps up.
No, you're not.
Fantastic. At Trevor Thomas IW on Twitter, at On Air Josh for Mr. Albrecht. Follow the show, too, at Inside Wis Sports. Facebook, Twitter for The Fan Milwaukee is at The Fan Milwaukee. The website, thefanmilwaukee.com. And where you can chat with us directly is the Nicolay Law Fan Talking Text Line, 414-677-1250. You're the type of guy that goes to bed after a game like last night and just can't shut her down, huh?
Nope. No, way too heightened emotions. You know, I'm watching replays just over and over again. Can't fall asleep.
Yep, can't get the brain off, is what it is.
Yep.
Been there, done that, understood. I did a veteran move last night, though.
You did.
And I let you know this, and I put this out on Twitter, and somebody said, don't make promises you can't keep. I set down the electronics as we headed into the ninth inning. I was spent. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to settle in. I'm going to lay down in bed. I'm going to watch the final out, and then we're good to go. I can fade off into the sunset. Buddy, I didn't see the final out last night.
Oh, wow. Really?
I knew everything was going to be fine. I watched it the first thing this morning. I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a choice. I was dunzy.
Yeah. At that point, it's not about if you want to or not. Your body said no.
How about
I'm telling you we're done.
Yeah. You're done. You're done.
Yeah,
You're done.
That's it.
So that's all good. I knew what it was going to end, but this morning woke up, everything was fine. Uribe retired all three straight.
Just
15 straight.
Through them.
15 straight for the Brewers to end the game yesterday. It was outstanding. All right, so let's get to this. It's our morning mind dump here on Inside Wisconsin Sports. We do this every day at 7 o'clock. We get the things off our chest and out of our head that we've been hanging on to, and this is going to be a fascinating one because Josh and I have been at each other about this.
Yes. Actually, I want to know, since we're going to get into this, and this might be something, we want your mind dumps as well on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking Text Line, 414-677-1250. Like Ziggy here gives us his mind dump thoughts. He says, is Trevor still afraid of the Cubs?
Pause. Don't. No, you're not even allowed to continue that. I was never afraid of the Cubs. I was afraid of the fans being jerks in the stands.
Yes.
Go ahead.
He says, has the NLDS schedule writer ever written a schedule before? Okay. First of all, we talked about that with Jeff Levering. This apparently was already laid out. It was this way. As far as the times of the game, yeah, that one was a little weird starting that late. I'm not exactly sure why. But
It was because the Dodgers were at the Phillies last night on the East Coast.
yeah.
So that was the early game, so that there was something to watch late afternoon. And then last night, or I should say, early evening, and then last night was the Brewers, number 1 overall seed. Leave to us Brewers fans to have the game of the night. Like, it is the primetime game.
Yeah.
Man, it starts too late.
Well,
What
an
do
8
we
o'clock
want?
and 8 o'clock start is kind of late. But the other thing too was, and this was part of my mind up, was that putting on TBS, the Brewers game had started, and I'm still seeing the final outs in the Phillies Dodgers game on my TV.
Did you switch over?
No, I'm like on TBS. It didn't switch over until
the game started on TNT last night.
Oh no, I was watching TBS.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I don't care about this game anymore. Okay, that makes more sense. He finishes his Ziggy, his mind dump here for this morning, saying, "Openers are dumb. Council did that stuff, and we didn't win anything." Getting it off your chest,
all right,
Ziggy, and the perfect lead-in to what's about to go down between Trevor and myself. As we are going back and forth, just texting each other, live texting each other during the game, this was something where I think we both just said, table it. Just table it.
Save it.
Table it. We're talking about it tomorrow.
Would you? Usually I go first.
No, go, please. Please, you go.
First? All right. Here's what I think happened.
Uh-huh.
And to Ziggy's point, we were all trying to figure out, was this what Council used to do in regards to throwing somebody out there for the first batter or the first inning, and then they go to what would have been Priester last night, right? And there was a part of me that wondered, is Murphy so good at this job that he's messing with Council's head? There's some truth to that, by the way. Was it the second or third inning they interviewed Council, and he was distraught. He's like, well, apparently this is going to be a bullpen game. We'll have to figure out what's like. He did
Great
not
Council
seem,
impression. Yeah.
Well, I mean, listen.
Yeah.
So Murph was in his head with the whole bullpen game thing. I love the strategy of sports, and I was trying really hard to understand what the strategy was with Ashby starting last night, and then ultimately where it was going to go. Here's where I landed during the game last night. So it was a bullpen game, like a legit bullpen game. That was the plan. Murphy came out and said we had no intentions of throwing Priester tonight.
Yep.
He followed his plan, and it was, in their mind, a bullpen game. I don't know that was true. And here's what I'm thinking. Whose start would that have been, Josh, if he was healthy?
Woodruff.
That was Woody's start.
Yep.
Okay. If Woody couldn't start, which is the case, who should be starting in place of Woody?
Quintana, if not Priester.
Miz would have been this start.
Well, but at what point? How far back in the season are you going?
I don't care.
To
I'm
make
just
that
saying
decision.
if the Miz was, if Woody couldn't go, this would have been Miz's start last night.
Okay.
Had we been able to depend on him to be a starter. We can't. And that's okay. Because the way he came out of the pen last night was unbelievable.
You know who else we haven't been able to rely on as a starter? Ashby. Ashby has been, for this team, a starter, and he got moved to the pen, where he's been pitching lights out. Listen, I talked about this with Tommy on the leadoff show as well.
You're already going. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Let me finish my mind
All right,
dump.
fine.
I asked you if you wanted to go first.
Well, okay.
So I believe that would have been a Miz start.
Okay.
But we can't start Miz. And we weren't going to start Priester because Priester's more valuable on the road. Here's the research I did last night. He had the best road record of anyone pitching on this year's Brewer team. He was 6-1 on the road with a 2.91 ERA over 14 road starts. Priester was going to start game 3 well before Murph announced it last night.
Well, why didn't you say that then when we were all trying to figure out if he was going to come in after Ashby?
Because it took me a little bit to come to that
easier in
conclusion. It was during
hindsight.
the game. No. It wasn't even hindsight. I wrote this down. You'd have to look back at our text messages.
Okay.
I started to understand the strategy there for a little bit. Ashby starting was a no-brainer in terms of who to start for a bullpen game. Who else? If we're throwing a bullpen game, which is what that was, because Priester's more valuable to us at Wrigley Field than he is at home. Quintana is going to start 4, maybe 5 if we need him, which I hope we don't. I still think Freddie could come back on short rest if we need him in game 4. Miz wasn't going to start. Mears wasn't going to start. Who else in that pen was going to make the start on a bullpen day? But look how this worked out. You said in the beginning of the game, Ashby was the wrong call. Sure, because he gave up a 3-run jack. Okay.
But, okay, now do I go?
Ultimately, my point here with this mind dump is I understand it now, and I don't dislike it at all. And that's not even past tense or me going, well, it's easy to say after they won 7-3. I figured it out as it was happening. And I think that's what ultimately was the reason, is because Woody couldn't start. Miz couldn't start. It was a bullpen game, and we wanted to try and see what was going to happen with all these guys coming out of the pen. Okay, you're up.
Okay. First of all, it became very clear as we, saw that, I mean, literally the social media, everyone going crazy of who's up in the bullpen in the first inning.
Yeah.
Right. As soon as the game starts, everyone watching the bullpen looking for that answer that we've been waiting all day to see. What is Murphy's plan? Okay. What came to light was not having Woody available to pitch really made this team have to get creative, more creative than they wanted to get, which is a concern. You look at what this team was, during that streak and beforehand when pitching was lights out. I don't think we thought, hey, if this team makes it to October, pitching's going to be a problem. But the starting pitching, just having that rotation, yeah, it's a problem. We don't have 4 or 5 solid starters to where you don't have to get creative. You have to get creative. We're missing Woodruff, not having Miz be the guy we thought he was going to be as a starter. All of these things came to light. So they have to get creative, and Murph, being Murph, doesn't want to give away anything that leads us to believe this is going to be a straight-up bullpen game. Good job by him, right? Right? Obviously, if we're confused, it keeps Counsell on his toes. He does what he's supposed to do as a manager. I think he had to look at who he has and go, well, someone has to start. Someone from the bullpen has to start this bullpen game, and he chose Ashby. The reason why I'm mad he didn't start Quintana and why I would have preferred he started Quintana is because I'm more aggressive in the moment. I think it was so important that they win this game. Obviously, they did. So now you can look at it and go, who cares? They won 7-3. Woohoo! But I think it was more important, instead of worrying about a game 4, knowing in the back of your mind, you didn't tell anyone, but in the back of your mind, that you're starting Priester in game 3, right? So you're already planning. You have game 3 lined up and ready to go, that you focus on the best opportunity you can give yourself in game 2, which would have been still putting someone, you could still have it be a bullpen game, but putting Quintana out there for a few innings to get it started and then going to the bullpen. I don't think that Ashby's crap. I don't think that he's, a liability. He's been amazing out of the pen. That's where he's been. And they said, no, we're going to start you. And clearly it didn't work. It didn't work putting him there.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
What didn't work?
With Ashby?
Yeah.
At what point was Ashby ever the right guy? He barely got out of the first inning, and then he didn't get out of the second.
He pitched 1 2/3. Mears came in for 1 batter. What do you expect a bullpen game to be? Him to throw 4 innings? That's not how a bullpen game works.
Listen, there was a lot of conversation about how long he goes, and it was, he probably won't see the lineup a second time through, but if you're going to give up 3 runs in the first and then have 2 guys on in your second inning, then you didn't do your job. You didn't do your job. So he got bailed out because this Brewers offense came to play. We are having a completely different discussion if the Brewers don't find the long ball in game 2. We are.
Well, sure. That's easy to say now, too. I'm just saying, if it wasn't going to be Ashby in a bullpen game, who was it going to be? And you can't use Quintana because he's a starter. That's not a bullpen. If it wasn't going to be Ashby, who should it have been?
I'm confused at why it can't be Quintana.
He's a starter.
There was conversation that Quintana could be the guy that was coming in. Drew Wagner said that that he wouldn't be surprised if Quintana was the one that came in after Ashby.
Right, because we thought that Ashby was going to start and then a starter was going to come in. We talked about that with Priester. We talked about that with Quintana. We knew Freddie wasn't going to be it. And obviously, Miz was the choice after Mears got out of the pinch in the second.
All right.
But if it wasn't going to be Ashby, who was it going to be? I'm stealing a little bit of my thunder from a Take Back Tuesday, but you got me fired up. There are 12 pitchers on the playoff roster, Josh.
Yes.
12. 14 and 12. 14 position, 12 pitchers. Of all of those pitchers, Aaron Ashby, Robert Gasser, Jacob Mizorowski, Chad Patrick, Quinn Priester, and Jose Quintana have all started a game this season. And if you take Priester and Quintana and put them in the starter category, there was a number of other guys that potentially could have started a bullpen game last night. Guess who it wasn't going to be? Miz. We know better than that. Guess who else it wasn't going to be? Gasser, because he's not been back long enough to start a game. Naturally, Chad Patrick could have started, and Aaron Ashby. That's literally it. Grant Anderson, not going to start. Koenig, not going to start. Mears, nope. He pitched in the other game, and he came in relief. McGill, not going to happen.
Right.
Miz, no. Patrick, no. Freddie, no. Priester, no. Quintana, no. Abner Uribe, no.
Obviously,
this was the natural choice.
Okay.
This is going to be a bullpen game on who needs to start the game.
So let me ask you this. If a starter goes and they plan on having the guy go 3 innings as your starter, then do you still call that, because you're labeling him as a starting pitcher, that it's not a bullpen game? If they would have had Ashby go 3 innings, you'd still have called that game a bullpen game.
100%. Yep. Quintana
coming back from injury, I don't expect him in any game that he is starting to go 4, 5, 6 innings. They're not gonna push him to do that, which is exactly why I think it would have been fair to have Quintana start this game and still have it be a bullpen game. If your guy's not going through the lineup 2 times as a starter, it's a bullpen game.
Who's in the rotation right now as a starting pitching?
So this is what I'm saying. You're looking at this from like technicalities of what right of what Quintana is and what he would be.
Technicalities. He's in the rotation. Quintana, Priester, Peralta. Those are the 3 main key starters on this Brewers NLDS playoff roster.
For just for the record, if I was to buy your argument that there was no choice but Ashby was the best choice available, that's a bigger concern to me. That if we have a bullpen game, we have no choice but to put Ashby out there as the starter of a bullpen game.
This was the natural choice for a bullpen game at this position in the season in the NLDS, having won game 1. The only other person that I thought could have started, who's not on the playoff roster, Tobias Myers. If he would have been on the roster, he would seemingly have potentially started last night's game in place of Aaron Ashby. However, we chose speed in a position player instead of another pitcher. 14 position players.
Yes.
12 pitchers.
Which not questioning, because to this point, the Brewers are finding ways to win, which is also, let's keep in mind, right? Like you and I are getting heated about this. They won the game. Like this was exactly why I said, as long as the offense does their thing, like none of this is going to matter. But it does worry me a little bit if that's how, if the way that you analyze that decision by Murph is the same way that Murph analyzed making that decision, then that does scare me a little bit. What does that mean if we go on to the next series? Are we saying, hey, we have to have a bullpen game because we don't have enough heat in our starting rotation, and the person that's going to start our bullpen games is going to be Aaron Ashby? I want Aaron Ashby out of the pen because he's been lights out in his position in middle relief.
There were certainly options for starters last night. However, the argument is, could have been Ashby knowing that it was a bullpen game. There's a question here on the Nicolay Law fan talking text line that we're going to get to after this break. It says, I think Josh is arguing, why did it have to be a bullpen game? Why couldn't it have been Quintana? I have a thought on that.
Okay.
It's also a part of my Take Back Tuesday in regards to just questioning what Murphy was doing with the pitching staff.
Yeah.
Stupid.
And we want your take backs, by the way.
The Nicolay Law fan talking text line, 414-677-1250. It is Take Back Tuesday time. Let's be honest with ourselves now. What did we say out loud or in our heads that we probably shouldn't? This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Runner takes off from first. It's grounded right back to Mizorowski. And he'll jog all the way to the bag. Mizorowski fired up. A clean inning.
I mean, you got to let him express himself, but then you got to watch and see if he comes back to where he needs to be. It's hard. It's like I came off the mound in the second inning and he was ranting and raving, and I gave him a little okay, stay with it.
Yeah, I think it was just that exactly. I was so fired up and, adrenaline pumping, didn't really know where my feet were, but, we landed. So it was fun. It's a lot of fun.
Didn't know where my feet were. They were numb. No idea. Out of body experience. Totally blacked out. Understand. The Miz. Man, it was good to see him back in Miz form last night for sure.
It absolutely was. And it's a perfect tie-in to our next segment.
It is a Take Back Tuesday here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Join us on Twitter at Trevor Thomas IW, at On Air Josh, at Inside Wis Sports, at the Fan Milwaukee. Did you get all that? Head to the website, thefanmilwaukee.com. You can check us out on YouTube and the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250. Here we go. A Take Back Tuesday. What are some things that we maybe used our outside voice for that we probably shouldn't have said out loud? Or maybe it was our in-the-head voice that we're like, oh, man, I can't believe this is happening. And then we were proven wrong, or maybe we shouldn't have said that. There are a couple from yesterday's game, and I mentioned one of mine last segment. It's that I should not have questioned why we were starting Aaron Ashby. Ultimately, I had to come to the realization that there was a lot of guys in the Brewers bullpen that had started a game in the past, and I like that there's opportunity to bring in potential former starters out of the pen. I don't know how many teams can say that they have a bullpen full of guys that could, in a pinch, start a game, kind of like Aaron Ashby did last night. There was a piece here on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line that I want to make sure I get to. The 414 texted in and said, I think Josh is arguing, why did it have to be a bullpen game? Why couldn't it have been Quintana? My easy, quick answer to that yesterday between Josh and I was Quintana will pitch better in a potential game 5 if need be than this game 2, knowing that we head on the road for the next 2. Priester, better on the road. Freddie, probably coming back for a game 4, if not a game 5, but those two switch. All in all, if we're going to do a bullpen game, I'd rather not use Quintana, knowing that he could go 5-6 innings if need be. And I'd rather save him as someone in the rotation right now. Listen, I would love to flip Miz and Quintana in the starting rotation if we can depend on them. But you heard there from the Miz, from Pat Murphy, and in excitement off of TBS television last night, the Miz was on one last night.
Mm-hmm. And that is the take that I would like to take back. And I think there are a lot of Brewers fans that feel that way, because when we were waiting to find out who was going to make this NLDS roster, there was questions of, does Miz even make this roster based on some of the struggles he had in those games, right, where it was the end of the season, where the team was struggling, and he was part of that on the mound, where we were like, man, where is that Miz that was starting, in that day game against Paul Skeens, where, it was a sellout Wednesday afternoon game at American Family Field? Where's that guy? No one really giving him a lot of props and confidence in that coming out of the pen, right? This being the first time that he was going to come in and come out of the bullpen, and he killed it. And so, he shut a lot of people up. I'm definitely taking that back. And I think it's even more funny now that so many people were looking at his excitement, right? After he got that, he was excited after every inning of those 3 that he pitched in that game last night. But first of all, let me tell you, I was just as amped as he was. We needed someone that was going to be able to get dialed in and go a few innings. We had gone, 3 pitchers in 3 innings, it had seemed, to start the game. And so to have him get dialed in and show us that nasty stuff that we know he has, for I think he threw 31 pitches over 100 miles per hour out of however many he threw in those 3 innings. Yeah, put some respect on his name. Maybe he's not in the starting rotation at this point, but he did exactly what he needed to do. Ashby, before the game, when he was asked about starting, said, well, they tell me my job is to get outs, and so I'm going to go out there and get outs. Well, you didn't. I mean, eventually you did, I suppose. But Miz followed that Miz followed that same recipe and was successful. And so I'm taking that take back.
At JJ Coop 36 on Twitter last night, this was a fantastic stat. Of the Major League postseason from 2008 to the current day in 2025, there have been 4 pitchers that have thrown pitches at 103 miles an hour or more in the postseason. 4. Of all of these pitchers, there have been 4. Justin Verlander has pitched 226 innings in the postseason since 2008. He's hit 103 or more one time. Mason Miller has thrown 4 pitches in 2 2/3 innings pitched that have hit 103 plus.
Yes, we saw that.
Chapman is the guy in the lead. He's pitched 51 2/3 innings in postseason play from 2008 to 2025, and he's thrown 15 pitches, 103 miles an hour or more. In second place, with 2 innings pitched in postseason play. 2. Jacob Mizorowski has thrown 7 pitches at 103 miles an hour or more. Josh, do you agree that is far deadlier out of the pen than it is as a starter in the postseason? Maybe I'll preface that in the postseason.
I mean, I think, yeah. I mean, that stat specifically, yeah. I mean, that's nasty. That's disgusting. I think that we're all in agreement that if, as Miz matures and they're able to get him, if he can become a starter, it's way more deadly, right? You want to have him be able to start games.
Is it though? I would question that. I wonder about that. I don't know that I necessarily take back wishing Miz was a starter, because that out of the pen after watching the junk from, I don't know, man. Look at how he pitched in the All-Star game.
How many
the best of the best can catch up to that? How
many texts back do I have to go to find the one where you said this is on Miz? This is on Miz not being able to start the game.
I still stand by that. You don't have to go back and text. It was in the morning mind dump.
But if you're saying that, then you're not saying that you wanted him to come out of the pen. You wanted him to start.
That's not it at all. Those are 2 completely different things. I'm saying the reason Ashby started and the reason we had to have a bullpen game last night is because Miz isn't a starter right now. And Woody's hurt. And Quintana and Priester will pitch later. That's why. That is exactly why. Hey, there's a piece in here on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line that I think goes really well with Pat Murphy talking about these boos that Craig Counsell has been experiencing. It's right here. It's ironic. This is Nick in Greenfield. It's ironic that the Brewers' winningest manager may now have made me more happy in 2 games that he's managing the Cubs than he ever did as our manager. Meh, really? Like, all right, I get it. The hate is real. We can all, but at some point we had to take a step back and go, that was a pretty good run with Counsell. Did we get the job done? No. However, my greatest Brewers memories are with him as the manager. Now, do I want to boo him every time he steps on the field? Absolutely.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's too soon. I'll get over it someday, but not now. Not right now. Here's what Murphy has to say about all these boos that Counsell's experiencing.
I hate it. It's none of my business. But I know this. They never boo a bum. You're getting booed, you're good at something. And I hate it because I know how much he loves Milwaukee. I know how much he loves the city. He loves the state. There's no one that's more fond of the high school athletic performances than Craig. He follows the guys in basketball, football, baseball, women's basketball. He follows all of it. And this is his residence. And he's, in my mind, but fans will be fans. They're fanatics. So they do what they do, and people pile on and that type of thing. But, I think he's above that, and he knows they never boo a bum. So Madden Machado comes here, they boo him every time, and, he hits a homer or 2. So, it doesn't affect the great ones. And I think the fans will come around someday. So that I do.
All right. I would like to start by thanking Brewers manager Pat Murphy for not telling us how to fan and saying, that they're fans, they're fanatics, and they're going to do what they're going to do. You're right. We absolutely are. I do think it's interesting, especially on a Take Back Tuesday of maybe this is a future Take Back Tuesday of, do we think at any point we are going to get to the point in which Murph thinks Brewers fans will in regards to Craig Counsell, where we're going to move past this decision, seeing him in the Chicago colors and everything else and calling him the traitor. I mean, it wasn't that long ago where on this show we talked about the top 5 Wisconsin villains, and he was number 1 on your list and many more. Mm-hmm. I don't know that he can be number 1 on many people's lists. And then you can also say, yeah, but we'll get over it someday.
I love Pat Murphy. I love the head he's got on his shoulders. I know personally how hard it is to transform your life and get your mental straight. And Pat Murphy is on record over the last number of years saying, I had a long way to come from where I was earlier in my career to where I am now. What he said just now is authentic Pat Murphy. Mm-hmm. He hates that we're booing Craig Counsell, the man, the dad, the husband, the community member, the fan of Wisconsin. Yep, I agree. I hate it too. But I'm not booing that guy. I'm booing the manager of the Cubs. And I'm
you?
Yes. The way you posed that, stand by. Okay. Hold on. Noodling.
Uh-huh.
I am.
Now, okay. I don't know that you are. Because if it wasn't Craig Counsell,
though. I don't think I'm booing the man.
If it wasn't Craig Counsell, if it was anyone else, if it was Joe Schmo, I don't think he's getting boos rained down on him just because he's the manager of the Cubs. Maybe he's getting booed, but it is not the same. You are booing Craig Counsell. You are not booing the manager of the Cubs.
Well, but why does it mean more? And I think that's what Murphy's point is. It means more because he was one of us. He told us that. I will play that audio in the next segment.
I don't want you to.
I'm going to. We will play that audio in the next segment. This is a great transition in regards to why we believe this is worthy of booing. It is a minute 40? I'm going to play the whole damn.
Come on.
I'm doing it because I need to justify this. I have to justify this. This is why it hurts so bad. This is why it is everything that I want to knock the Cubs out of the playoffs in 3 games. Because I want this to be remembered. Ooh, now look at my heart rate. Let's go. Oh.
Yeah, you are jacked. Listen, I think that you wanting to play that, though, might help the argument that you're not just booing him because he's the Brewers manager.
Nah. My point on this, and I will play it, is that was when he was the Brewers manager. Now he's the Cubs manager. And he left the Brewers to go to the Cubs. Yes. I don't care if it would... I would boo anyone that was in this clip saying the things that he said. Emotion is the sharpest tool in the toolbox.
Correct.
I'm sweaty.
Yeah.
Emotion is the sharpest tool in the toolbox. When you toy with my emotions and then rip out the rug from underneath my legs.
Yes.
You are very boo-worthy, no matter how awesome of a dude you are off of the field. I get it. Everything that Pat Murphy said is true. I'm sure that he loves the dad and the husband and the community member, and he loves Wisconsin sports and all that. You know how he didn't love it enough, though? When the paycheck was right.
Mm-hmm.
How many players over the years have taken a pay cut to stay in Wisconsin? Gilbert Brown took a pay cut to stay a Packer because he knew how much it meant to be in the green and gold. Damn it, Josh.
Emotion's a part of it. Listen, Josie, our friend Josie on the Nicolay Law fan talking text line says, okay, but we boo Machado because of what he did to Aguilar. It is not just because he hits home runs. This is what I'm talking about. It does come down to emotion. And I do not know that Murphy is right in this regard of it just being, especially with what you said, of it just being because he is the Cubs manager. It is how he became the Cubs manager. It is that emotion.
And this is not an apples to apples comparison. I am not booing the man, Craig Counsell. I'm booing the businessman, Craig Counsell. I'm not booing the neighbor, Craig Counsell. I'm booing the dude that decided to leave the Milwaukee Brewers after telling us you were one of us.
He's the same person. He's the same person, Trevor.
But I hear what Pat Murphy's trying to get across.
Yeah, I understand too. He's being professional. It's the same person.
Screw it. We're going to play it next. We'll do it live. We will do it live.
Go Brewers.
You know what? Tomorrow, you are live. Tomorrow at Natty Oaks Pub and Eatery on National Ave in West Dallas. You.
Yes,
and
I am.
Sparky and Tommy all there for the watch party starting at 2 at Natty Oaks on National Ave in West Dallas. Okay. I don't like it, but we're going to play it. You know what I'm talking about.
This is your decision. I want everyone to know that.
Well, that's Inside Wisconsin Sports. We're going to use our fandom and show you our statriotism, the zealous patriotism for one's home state. That's what that means. This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We're doing this.
Yeah, I mean, look, we made a couple mistakes with multiple runners on base, and after getting off to a great start, those mistakes for 2-3 run homers is going to be, you're not going to win playoff games giving up 2-3 run homers. That was just too much to overcome.
Oh, we can overcome home runs. All right, we're doing this.
Yeah. Why?
Listen, Inside Wisconsin Sports, Trevor and Josh. This is the Fan, powered by Potawatomi Sportsbook. The conversation, if you're just joining us, comes from Pat Murphy saying he hates it that Craig Counsell is getting booed. That is Pat Murphy, the long-time friendship, relationship, all the things that is their mentorship, whatever you want to call it. They've known each other forever, okay? I said before the break that I'm not booing the man. I'm booing the manager. I'm booing the guy that was the Brewers manager that chose to be the Cubs manager. And the reason is because he toyed with my emotions with this clip that we're about to play. And I want you to feel this because that was the goal. This is an emotional clip. And then I'm going to give you a Take Back Tuesday right in the minute. Josh, play it.
I don't know you. I don't know your story, your background, what you do for a living. And yet, I do know you. I know how your eyes lit up the first time you walked into County Stadium. I know how, as a kid, you dreamed of being Robin Young. And wanted nothing more than to one day wear that Brewers script across your chest. I know that every summer you stay up late listening to Mr. Baseball on the radio.
Strong, him out swinging.
I know that you'll never forget October 10th, 1982.
Oh, coming on!
And September 28th, 2008.
And there's a drive in the left field. And it's gone!
Or October 7th, 2011.
Morgan, a smash up the middle. Right center. Here comes Gomez. Round the Brewers win.
I know you because I am you. You and me, we're cut from the same cloth. This isn't something we chose. It's not a bandwagon we jumped on when it was convenient. It's something we were born into. A piece of our identity passed down from generations before. Just like you, I was born a Brewer. This is my first love, my passion, my responsibility. It's a torch I'll carry with me always. Through the ups and the downs, the good times and the bad, no matter what, this will always be my team. Brewers baseball is part of who I am. It's part of who we are.
If that's the man and not, what'd you say?
I play.
How about no? Yeah, okay. If that's the man and not the manager, if that is the man, Craig Counsell talking, and not the manager, not the guy that was reading the script, if you are using those words, Craig, telling me that you don't know my story, but I am you, I'm one of you, then I am booing the man. That's my Take Back Tuesday. If I say I'm not booing the man, if that's the man, that's who I'm booing right there. That is the video that has been on Twitter for years now. And that's why when he decided to go to the Cubs, it hurt so damn bad. That's why. If that's the man, if that clip is the man, Craig Counsell, the dad, the neighbor, the one of us, the community member, the born a Brewer, if that's him, then that's who I'm booing.
All right. I hate to pop this bubble for you, but first of all, that was a media piece by the wonderful Brewers PR team.
Killed it.
Okay? There's no way that Counsell wrote that, went to them and said, hey, I want to get our team jacked. I'm putting this out. Okay, so first, I'm not hearing that, and I never heard that going, this is Counsell showing us emotion. This is him all of these things. There are plenty of things he said in that video that I could believe are true. But I'm not looking at it. I've never looked at it with the same emotion, even when it was in the moment of, man, he loves us. He feels this like we do, because I knew it was a social. It was a media point. That's all.
That's fine. That's you. I felt that.
Okay.
That was me as a kid.
Oh yeah. Trust me. I agreed with everything he said.
So when I say that emotion is the sharpest tool in the toolbox, that hit every piece of Brewers emotion that I've had for as long as I've lived. I did grow up wanting to be Robin Yount. I did grow up a Brewers fan. I have no idea what that text means about somebody has a source that said I was a Cubs fan when I was a kid.
Yeah.
We buried that already.
Chris from Cottage Grove. Apparently, they heard you talk about it at a football game. Heard you say it over at a football game.
That's because of you.
Well, what I do?
This is all your fault.
Please.
At the end of the day, I grew up a Brewers fan. The Cubs were on TV when I was a kid.
Oh, my God. Can we please remake that video of you as a Cub fan? Watch it. I'm just like you.
I will walk.
I watch Cubs games on WGN.
You are so lucky we're not in the same room.
I went to play with the wiffle ball
That's not true.
with my friends, and I wanted to be Andre Dawson. I'm just like you, Cubs fans. Oh, man, would that be rich? Oh, I'm seeing it all in my brain right now.
All over the studio. All over the studio. My phone is soaked.
I'm a pass out. You're so angry.
I threw my hat. I hit my water bottle.
Oh, my God. If you're not watching us on YouTube right now.
It's all over my MacBook.
Oh, my Lord.
The floor is wet. Look.
He's just like us. Trevor's just like us. Oh, my God. That was amazing.
I have to go to the bathroom and clean up now. There's water everywhere in here.
Oh,
God.
That's fantastic. Hey, we got to get to break, so that's okay. You can go do it. This is good timing. Oh, I'm crying. Oh, my side hurts.
All right, you're listening to Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1280 AM and 105.7 FM Fan Studios. And there's water everywhere. We're going to talk to Spa from the Packers next. Take a break. Bye.
fly ball to left.
I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up, I'm home. Whoa!
And it's a high fly ball to left field. Hap underneath it, in front of the wall. This ball's gone! Andrew Vaughn ties the game with one swing. He's done it again. Contreras with a drive to left field, and the Brewers have the lead. Churiel with a drive, center field, way back there, and gone! A 3-run shot from Jackson Churiel, and the Brewers lead 7-3. Brewers pitchers have retired 14 in a row. One strike for a 2-0 series lead. Got him! Uribe strikes out the side in the ninth. And the Brewers have a stranglehold in this series. The Milwaukee Magic keeps rolling.
What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome in Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Go watch us on the YouTube if you want to see me blow a gasket.
How you doing, bud?
Not great. My heart rate hit 120. I pulled a Josh.
Oh, yeah, you did.
My hat is wet. How'd you get the stain on your hat? You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Oh, man.
For those just joining, I just lost it completely. I spilled water in my studio. I'm telling you, man. Craig Counsell toyed with my emotions, and that was it right there. One of my best friends already texted in. Oh, that was classic Trevor right there. Yeah, he's right.
Man, you need this break that we got coming
I do.
up.
We need to talk some Packers for a second.
We're going to get back into this, but you need a full timeout. I
literally need to take a break from the Brewers conversation about Craig Counsell and Pat Murphy not liking that we boo him. Okay? I said something out loud, then took it back like 30 seconds later after we played that clip. Spoff saved me. Mike Spofford from the Green Bay Packers. Packers.com. He's the writer. He's the producer. Are you a Brewers fan, Spoff?
I am a Brewers fan through and through, Trevor. That was
So when Counsell did that whole, I'm one of you, you're one of us. Did Have you blown a gasket about that? Because I think you need to.
I haven't blown a gasket, but I said to myself when he went to the Chicago Cubs, I hope he loses every game he manages for the rest of his career.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. So
I'll be forever grateful for what he did for the Brewers. Yeah. But when you go to a rival, you are no longer liked. You are no longer a friend. That's how it is. He made that decision. He has to live with it in terms of how the fans are going to treat him.
I do think that's a good tie-in, though, because a lot of Packers fans said the same thing about a quarterback that wore number 4 for a long time, who also ended up playing for a different team. Maybe one of those people might have been Trevor.
Yeah.
And a lot of them have come back and not felt the same way as they did when he was in purple. Do you think that your feelings on Craig Counsell will at some point go back to how just being positive, looking at the good times?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Once he's no longer managing the rival, once you're not playing against him and whatnot, then it all changes and it all goes back to the memories. But in the moment, at this particular time, he's the enemy, and I don't have any problem whatsoever with the fans booing Craig Counsell. Now, when Craig Counsell comes back to Milwaukee after he's retired as a manager and throws out the first pitch of the game, I would hope the crowd would give him a standing ovation.
Yeah, there you go. See,
I don't know how that's going to go.
It's going to take some years. It will take some years.
Take some time.
Yep. It's going to take some time. All right, let's talk Packers.
Yes.
We're coming off of the bye week. We have nothing but time for these guys to get healthy. And yesterday was a big day for the Packers' health in the positive direction. Spoff, help us understand who's good, who's not, and what to expect this weekend.
Well, it's really hard to say this early in the week, but the big news, of course, was that Christian Watson was practicing for the first time this season. So his 21-day window coming off of PUP has now been opened. He can be activated to the 53-man roster at any time, but there is sort of this grace period here where he can practice without having to count against the 53-man roster. Sounds like he just did individual drills, no 11 on 11 on his first day, which is pretty standard practice. Where things go from here the rest of the week, we'll just have to see. I mean, would he be ready to play a few snaps in a game just with 1 week of practice after, having surgery in January? I mean, we'll see. Everything we've heard and seen is that, Christian Watson has been ahead of schedule this whole time. So I wouldn't rule anything out at this point. What I would rule out is if he actually is active and playing against the Bengals on Sunday, he's not going to go play 40 or 50 snaps. I mean, we're talking about, ramping things up and easing him back into things. But the other injury news then also was that the Packers' 2 starting offensive linemen who have missed multiple games here since the opening week of the regular season, Zach Tom at right tackle, Aaron Banks at left guard, they were both back at practice as well, which on a Monday after the weekend off, after the week off and everything, I thought that was a really good sign. The pads are going to go on Wednesday. That will be the really big sort of the telltale sign in terms of how much these guys can do and whether they'll be ready to get back into action on Sunday. But those 2 starting offensive linemen being back in practice Monday was big news too.
Mike, do you think that with the way that Tom kind of re-injured himself, right, and LaFleur came out and said, yeah, clearly we brought him back too early, that's on me, blah, blah, blah. Do you think that they're more cautious and maybe don't have him go as hard in this game against the Bengals? How do you think they handle bringing him back? Because clearly it's not going to be a good look if something happens in that game against the Bengals, Zach Tom.
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. I think maybe what they do is they just try to test him during the week that much more, test him that much harder in terms of the 11 on 11 work. And can you really hold up for, a long stretch, a 10-play drive, a 12-play drive? I mean, whatever it takes, as much as you can replicate something like that in practice. They obviously need to get a better handle on where he's going to be so that what happened in Cleveland with one play, a bull rush from Myles Garrett. Nope, I can't go. I got to sit out. That you can't have something like that happen again. So, chalk it up to a lesson learned. And I think they'll, I don't know exactly what the procedure will be, but I think they will take a different procedure here in terms of making sure that Zach Tom is ready before they put him back out there.
Mike Spofford, he's the editor for Packers.com. Been with the website since 2006, writing about sports here in Wisconsin since 1995.
Wow.
Yeah, Spoff.
Pretty good.
Yeah. All right, you're not bald, bud. I mean, there's that. So, Spoff, how do you do your job knowing that you've been a Wisconsin sports guy for a long time and you have a team to cover and talk about the truth and what the good, the bad, and the ugly are, and get the stories out? And I've talked to Wes about this too. Yet you don't necessarily have to be partial. You're kind of in a weird media no-go land, right? Where you work for the team and you need to report the news, but you also want to tell the stories that maybe other people don't necessarily recognize. How is that?
Yeah, I mean, for me, there's a ton of media coverage of the Packers, and there's a lot of great work being done on the beat by all sorts of different outlets that cover this team. I mean, my approach is always to just try to find a little bit of a different angle, a little bit of a different perspective that maybe is going to separate the coverage that you get on Packers.com from the other great coverage on other websites and other outlets. I mean, yes, there is the news. When news happens, you report it, and everybody's kind of reporting the same thing. But when you get away from the hard news of things, it's like, hey, how about, try to find a little bit different perspective, a different way of looking at things. And that's how I go about it. It's about trying to serve the fans, quite frankly. And if you're just writing, as I say, aside from the news that needs to be reported, if you're just writing the same stories as everybody else, then how are you really serving the fans? So let's try to go about it in a little bit different way. And, provide a little bit of variety in all the coverage that's out there of this favorite team that people have.
Yeah, and I think, you're talking about the fan, and I want to get your perspective of the fans have been trying to solidify an identity for this Packers team, and it's been changing a lot, from the way that we were feeling, and I'm sure the way you guys were writing, and for the first 2 weeks in comparison to after that fourth game with the tie in Dallas. Just where do you see this team going out of the bye and trying to set that identity?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because there isn't really an identity right now when your last two games have been 13-10 and 40-40, right? I mean, so you've had these games where a game where the offense struggles, the defense has played well, then things get totally reversed in the very next game. So the Packers just they've got to settle down and really figure out who they are, what they're good at. I think there's going to be an evolution to this, quite frankly, as we continue. It's not going to be decided against Cincinnati this week or against Arizona next week. When you're talking about Christian Watson coming back and the offensive line hopefully getting back to full strength, and Micah Parsons now has a few games under his belt. Jeff Hafley knows him a lot better than he did a month ago, right? So different ways that you can use him and what you can do defensively. And then when you look further down the road, that if Jaden Reed is going to come back and rejoin this offense and all those things. So I think there's going to be an evolution to figuring out, okay, what is it that the Packers are really good at? What are they going to hang their hat on both sides of the ball? I think we have a better feel for that defensively, just because it felt like the Dallas game was just a 1 week hiccup. The way the Packers played defensively the first 3 games of the season, I think, is much more indicative of the defense that they can be and will be going forward. And you tip your hat to Dak Prescott for playing a whale of a game on Sunday Night Football. Hopefully, the defense gets back to looking like it did in the first 3 weeks, and there'll still be some evolution there, as I said, with Parsons and whatnot. And hopefully Devontae Wyatt in the middle of that defensive line isn't out too long. He's one guy who was not back at practice on Monday, so we're still wait and see on Devontae Wyatt.
Do we know what it is with his knee?
No, there hasn't been anything reported as far as the specifics of what that is. So Matt LaFleur said week to week. So they haven't put him on IR, which again, something that would be a good sign because IR means obviously a minimum of 4 games missed. So the fact that he hasn't gone on IR, hopefully that's good news that it really is week to week, and we may see him back out there pretty soon.
Yeah, that wasn't in the cards when we traded away Kenny Clark and got
Right.
Mike Parsons. We're like, we're good. We got Devontae Wyatt. Devontae Wyatt's down? Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. It'll be all right. All right, last question for me as we get out of the interview with Mr. Spofford. Mike Spofford from thepackers.com. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Yeah, you
I
bet.
shot him a late night text in the middle of what was an amazingly amazing Brewer game.
Yeah.
I was like, the Packers play this weekend. We should probably talk about the Packers.
Yeah, we got to talk about the Packers.
Yeah, we gotta talk
How
about the
often do we say that?
Never.
Right.
Never. But I will, dude, I'm here for that. Like, with all due respect to the Packers, Spoff, love you. Like, can't wait. I'm riding this whole Brewers to the promised land train.
Throwing hats, spilling water. I mean, he's all in. You know?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get home from work at 4:00 on Wednesday, bro. Like, I don't want to miss any of this Brewers action, but I do have a job to do as well. So we'll see how much of Game 3 I can catch on Wednesday.
You guys need to put it on the Jumbotron at Lambeau. Try that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'll talk to some people about that. See if I can make that happen.
Does that considered a rebroadcast or retransmission? Asking for a friend. No?
Yeah, I think that probably would be. I don't know. I don't think MLB would be their TV partners would be too crazy about us doing that.
Come on. All right, help us understand what we should expect this weekend as we let you go, Mr. Spofford.
Well, I mean, the Cincinnati Bengals are a struggling ball club, and we're going to find out tomorrow. Zach Taylor, the Bengals head coach, said yesterday he's going to look at all options at quarterback. They may not continue with Jake Browning after the 3 interceptions against the Detroit Lions. I believe Browning now has 8 interceptions since he took over for Joe Burrow. So the problem for the Bengals in terms of potentially switching quarterbacks is all the other quarterbacks they have Brett Rippon on the active roster, Mike White, and former Packer Sean Clifford on the practice squad. The earliest, the longest any of those players, quarterbacks, have been with the Bengals is like August 27th. So if they make a move, if they go away from Browning and switch things up, you're talking about turning things over to somebody who has not been in Cincinnati for very long. So, but that's really the big story right now with the Bengals is what are they going to do at quarterback? Their defense doesn't seem to be a whole lot different from what it's been the last couple of years. Trey Hendrickson is a heck of a pass rusher, and he's a guy you have to deal with. But overall, that defense gives up a lot of yards, and they give up a lot of points. And they were in the playoff hunt last year because Joe Burrow was playing like an MVP. And now that you don't have Joe Burrow to get the ball to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, that offense is, has really had its struggles. So I look at this, I'm not saying you never look past anybody in the NFL. We all know that. What I'm saying for the Packers and the way things have gone the last couple of games and coming off the bye is that this week is more about just focusing on yourself and cleaning up your own game. It's not really so much about the opponent. And if the Packers get back to playing their own game, playing cleaner football, fewer penalties, don't have the turnovers at the inopportune times, all of that kind of stuff, I think the rest takes care of itself. And then, hopefully you get rolling here as you head out on what's going to be another difficult back-to-back on the road with Arizona and Pittsburgh, back-to-back road games there coming up after this home one with Cincinnati.
Pittsburgh. Never heard of her.
Yeah.
Mike Spofford, at Mike Spofford on Twitter. He is the editor for Packers.com. Spoff, we will have you back, hopefully, to talk more Brewers, frankly, and more Packers then, too. We appreciate it.
Yeah, you got it. Anytime. Appreciate you having me, guys.
You got it. We'll talk to you soon. All right, Mike Spofford, the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. Okay. We're going to take a break, and we will process what happened at the top of the last hour and talk about how much trouble I might be in on this end.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you want to recap what happened. Some people might not have heard.
I blew a gasket. You want me to recap that now or later?
No, you can do it when we come back from break.
Yeah, I'll blow a gasket. That's the best way to put it. Blew a gasket. You can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game all season long. Kicking off with the juicy Week 6 matchup between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Green Bay Packers. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios. Wish these windows opened in here. I got to air some things out on this end.
Huh.
We are powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I'll explain it all in a little bit. Stay here.
Contreras with a drive to left field, and the Brewers have the lead. A no-doubt shot from William Contreras. And Milwaukee leads 4-3.
What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome back inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Follow us on Twitter at Trevor Thomas IW and at On Air Josh. The show is at Inside Wis Sports, the station at The Fan Milwaukee, the website, thefanmilwaukee.com, and the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, which is going to get some coverage here.
Yeah, baby.
414-677-1250. 414-677-1250. I've got friends and family listening, so let's just recap this real quick. I blew a gasket. I didn't know Josh had some audio from earlier that was Murphy kind of, I don't know, scolding us for booing Craig Counsell.
Yeah, I mean, and which is kind of what it was. Look, he said, I hate it. I hate it. He understands.
Oh, yeah.
He understands fans are going to fan, which I appreciated him saying, don't tell me how to fan. But he definitely disagrees with it, and he doesn't like the boos for Counsell.
Well, and the reasons he gave at first blush, I didn't maybe appreciate. Like he gave me the impression, I'm just going to speak for me, that I was booing the father and the husband and the community member and all those things. And I did not think I was booing that person. I thought I was booing the former manager of the Brewers, who now happens to be the manager of the Cubs. And then I went and found the audio of the minute 40 long piece that the Brewers put out years ago of Craig Counsell telling me he didn't know my story, but he is me. And he grew up wanting to be a Brewer, and he'll never forget this date and never forget that date and so on. And upon further review, I decided that indeed I might be booing the man, because although I understand that was a marketing script, it still toyed with my emotions.
Of course, that was the point.
Well, it worked. And then he left for the hated Chicago Cubs, and all of those emotions went, but you told me we were, and then it was you and me.
You liar.
And then, but we're, you don't know my story, and we're not good.
You lied to me.
Where the whole thing derailed.
Yes.
Was when you started talking based on a text that we got on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. Here's the number, by the way, 414-677-1250. Where this went off the rails was somebody named Chris from
Cottage Grove.
It says Cottage Grove?
Yep, listening on the Odyssey app.
I hope you're still listening, Chris. You owe me some money if this MacBook doesn't turn back on.
Oh, my gosh.
Chris says, is it true you were a Cubs fan as a kid? I have a source that wishes to remain anonymous. Heard you admit it at a football game. All right. The only thing I can think of is Friday night's football game. The problem is I don't know Chris from Cottage Grove, and I don't know who the mole is.
Yeah. Yeah, he's anonymous.
They were listening, whoever I was talking to, and I cannot remember for the life of me who it was. I have it narrowed down to a couple people. But long story short, this whole thing started last week when we were talking about me growing up in Southeast Wisconsin, Jefferson, Wisconsin, 306 North Dewey Avenue, Jefferson, Wisconsin. WGN was the only thing I could turn on that had a baseball game on. And as a kid, like a 9-year-old kid, I was a fan of the baseball players I was watching, not the team. Not even like I watched the Braves and I watched the Cubs and I watched the White Sox and Ken Griffey Jr. Like Counsell said, we all grew up wanting to be Robin Yount, right? Well, I grew up wanting to be not only him, but all those other dudes. So there was a part of me that maybe had to come to an admittance that I didn't necessarily hate the Cubs back then, but I still couldn't call myself a Cubs fan. Now, if that came out of my mouth, it was probably in like a joke. I was like, oh, yeah, right. Might have been. Right?
Yeah.
One of them.
But someone heard it.
Somebody heard it. I can't go anywhere now. Now my life is the sheltered. I'll be in my garage, putzing, watching the TV, and minding just my own. I can't be now. Who do I trust? And so where this went off the rails was then Josh starts doing this whole as if that letter was written to me as a
Cubs fan.
Yeah, I'm not saying it.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll say it. I just had this idea that popped into my head of, man, that council video of him saying, I'm one of you. I'm just like you. Man, how funny would it be if we made a video just like that, but it's of Trevor saying he's a Cub fan. I grew up just like all of you. I cheered for the Cubs on WGN. I played wiffle ball with my friends and pretended I was Andre Dawson. If he did that, if we did a whole video just like the Craig Council video that got Trevor's emotions, got him all fired up, and then broke him down, if we did the same thing. And apparently, my brain having that idea, man, you really didn't like that. You really didn't like that because you got quite heated from that. So heated, in fact, that you took off your headphones to take off your hat and chucked it at your water that then went flying everywhere.
I'm watching it back on my side. I went and found it on the YouTube.
Yeah.
I wish I can't wait to hear that again. There's water everywhere. My hands are dripping. There's water on my MacBook, on my phone, all over the counter. If someone from the radio station here is listening, everything's fine. Nothing got damaged other than my stuff.
Yeah. By you.
By me.
Yeah.
Oh my God, did I blow a gasket?
Yeah,
I'm watching
angry.
this in silence, and you can just see.
You were an angry elf.
I don't know. I mean, when Murphy, listen, I have so much respect for Pat Murphy. So much respect to the point where, am I pitting? I'm not pitting.
I don't know. Is that sweat or is that water from?
That's not water. I have so what you know when Dad says I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
Oh, of course, yeah.
That's what that made me feel like when Pat was like, I hate it. He's a good husband and a good father and a good community member and all those things. And I'm sure he's right. And I want to beat them in 3 games. I'm on record saying that I want to knock them out of the playoffs. Pat said on the podcast, Inside Wisconsin podcast, that he wondered if Counts was going to regret this decision. What do you think needs to happen for Counsell to regret this decision?
Well, he doesn't have a job. I think that'd be the biggest thing.
But he got so much more money. He was the highest paid manager in baseball.
Sure.
So you know that when you chase the money in life, it's not always going to be something that you can bank on forever.
Here's the other thing, too. Trying to remember back, I thought that one of the thoughts regarding this was that he might just retire. He wanted to spend more time with his family. He wanted to watch his kids play baseball. He wanted to be a part of that. And so there were conversations that he might not coach still in the majors. Obviously, money talks. He makes a decision to go to Chicago. But who knows? He could be done with this contract, whether it be on his own accord or Chicago's, by the end of this, who knows? And he might not go to a different team. I'll tell you this, as Brewers fans, we might have been very upset and mad at him in the moment, but he left, and then we got the manager of the year. And we should be having the back-to-back manager of the year in Pat Murphy. That doesn't happen.
That is junk.
I'm just saying that doesn't happen if Craig Counsell stays.
You're right.
So,
and we said this. I didn't get the chance to listen last night because I was already passed out by the time the game was over. We listened to the score in Chicago after Saturday's game. Guess who hates Craig Counsell too?
Oh, yeah.
All the Cubs fans.
Of course.
What are we doing? I had to have this guy. We had to get this guy. David Ross was here and everything was okay. And then blah, blah, they're just ballistic Cubs fans. The amount of comments on YouTube just exploded.
Oh, yeah.
With people going, watch that whole thing. Holy. Yeah, go to youtube.com and search The Fan Milwaukee. You can click on the live broadcast of the show this morning, and I blow my gasket at roughly, I don't see times, I guess, but I don't know, 40-ish minutes ago. I tell you right now, my body still says it happened 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I really wish you would have passed out. That would have made.
I was so close. I could not. I didn't listen for being positive, Pete. That was so far the opposite way. I did not see that coming. I also got to point out the Nicolay Law fan talk and text line 414-677-1250. When we've started talking about counsel, a lot of people getting their thoughts in on this. We played that sound. Multiple people saying lies, some inappropriate comments about Craig, the way they still feel. The 920 says, I'm not booing the guy. I'm booing the manager of the scrubs only.
Yep, that's what I thought too.
920, I hate to say this. You are in the minority, sir.
Well, I thought I was that guy too. I thought I was booing the manager. I think I don't know the guy. So, I can't say I'm booing the guy, but I am booing who he said he was. That's a great way to put it. Clip that. I'm not booing the guy because I don't know the guy. I am booing the guy because of who he said he was, and I don't know that that's the truth.
Yeah, I don't know how to break this to you. They're the same person. That's my whole point to this, right? Your opinion, just like we talked about with Brett Favre, how a lot of people changed their opinion on him after he finally retired, and then all we saw were, the highlights of him in a Packers uniform, blah, blah, blah. So not everyone, but a lot of people's opinions went back to love and number 4. With counsel, that might be the same thing. But right now, the emotions coming from fans it's never going to change. Here was my argument and the way I thought about it, because I loved Craig Counsell. I had a signed Craig Counsell jersey hanging above my desk when I worked across the street. Okay. Yeah. And I took that bad boy down. I took it home. Some people said you should burn the jersey. I didn't. I kept it in the frame because 1, framing jerseys is very expensive. 2, I held out hope that maybe someday Pat Murphy would be right. And I would be in a position to where I could say that was a really rough stint when he went to Chicago. But man, am I glad that we had him, as a manager and as a player and how he represented Milwaukee. I told myself any chance of that Craig Counsell coming back, even if it's years and years down the road, was all dependent on how he did as the Cubs manager. If he is successful as a manager in Chicago and he starts making a name for himself as the manager in Chicago, he's not going to be a welcome back. The fans are not going to welcome back because he's making a new identity in Chicago. Not, well, that was a mistake, clearly, huh? Right? We hated you for that. You hated yourself for that, but that's all right. We're over it. No, if he's winning, if he's making playoff pushes, if he's getting them into the postseason, the Brewers fans are going to continue to not like Craig Counsell, and it's just going to get worse and worse and worse.
You brought up the Favre thing.
Yeah.
I was really stupid back then and got rid of a lot of my Favre stuff because I was all up in my feels.
Yeah, you were heated.
Dumb. I do not feel that way about Craig Counsell this time. Maybe it's because I'm older, but I think if I'm really being honest with myself, here's the issue. Nobody's perfect. I've made a lot of major mistakes in my life. And there are a lot of people that I have in my life that I think were fans at one point and would probably boo me to the hills at some point based on some of the mistakes I made. That was some time ago now. And people are forgivable. Grace is real and things change. I'm angry at the situation. I'm angry that there's a guy that the storybook was written for. He's supposed to be I love Pat Murphy. Craig Counsell is supposed to be the manager of the Brewers. He's the winningest manager ever. Mm-hmm. Did he do things perfectly when he was here? No. But the guy grew up here. His dad worked for the Brewers.
He's one of us.
He's one of us. But that's my point. So I don't like that. I don't even like the thought that I might be booing the man because I don't think that's fair. Right. So I'm booing the marketing message. I'm booing the emotions that drove out in me as a Brewers fan who wants this more than anything in the sports world ever. I honestly don't know what it's going to like. If this happens this year, I don't know what it's going to be like. There's nothing else I want more in my sports fandom.
Agreed. 1,000%.
That's why that hurt so bad. Right. So I really like to look deep in myself and go, I don't think I'm booing the man because I don't know the man. But I'm certainly booing the emotions that clip brought out in me, and then the decision to ultimately go to the Cubs. And I can't wait to beat them tomorrow and make them go away. And then on to the next, and maybe the Dodgers, which, by the way, I'm also on record, Josh, of saying I want Chicago, third largest market in the country, and then I want L.A.,
You
the
said
second
that.
largest market in the country, and then I want New York. The problem is Toronto, which I believe is Canada's biggest city in the country, might get them. They look pretty damn good right now.
Yeah, they do.
All right, up next, What's Up, Wisconsin? This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Hey guys, Josh Albrecht, and what a game 2 last night. Now we're on to a potential series clinching game 3. Join me and the rest of the fan on October 8th for the game 3 watch party at Natty Oaks in West Allis. Natty Oaks is there to shuttle you to the stadium on game days, and they're the best place to watch postseason baseball. Join me and the fan for game 3 for the watch party, giveaways, drink specials, wings, smash can burgers. Tommy will be there doing the leadoff show live. It's going to be a blast. Wednesday, October 8th at Natty Oaks, where National and Oklahoma meet in West Allis. Natty Oaks, small bar, big attitude.
Churiel with a drive. Center field. Way back there. And gone! A 3-run shot from Jackson Churiel. And the Brewers lead 7-3.
What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome back to the final segment. That's what we call it. What's up, Wisconsin?
What's up?
It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. You're going to want to follow us on Twitter because there's a clip coming out later that will make your day. At Trevor Thomas IW, at On Air Josh, at Inside Wis Sports, and I am positive it will show up on at the Fan Milwaukee. What's up, Wisconsin? What are you doing today that you want to share? Any ideas on what to do on a Brewers off day, knowing they don't play again until tomorrow? The ALDS does play tonight. They had their off day, and now they've done their traveling. The Blue Jays and Yankees are in New York now. Am I correct on this?
Yes, and the Yankees trying to hold off elimination as the Blue Jays up 2-0, first game in New York, and they will play tonight. And then their game 4, should there be a game 4, will be tomorrow.
Yep, that's the late game tonight, 7:08, Blue Jays at Yankees. Before that, though, 3:08 first pitch from Detroit this afternoon. The Mariners and the Tigers tied at 1 apiece. Josh, what are you doing today?
So first, I'm going to watch that game, that Detroit and Seattle game. I loved seeing, I was really worried that Seattle wasn't going to win game 2, when they let Detroit come back and tie it late, and just hearing how they hadn't won a home playoff game in 24 years. And I mean, I was just like, oh, come on. You want it for those guys. You're not going to see them until the World Series anyway, if you're a Brewers fan. So it was very exciting seeing them come away with a win. I'm very excited to see that game because I'm also pulling for the Mariners. So I'm going to watch that. And then honestly, I got a lot of cleaning and just kind of getting my life back together after the weekend. And then last night, it was just, Saturday was obviously a blast, but Sunday became a recovery day. Thank the Lord that the Packers had a bye week.
Yeah.
Because I was just still riding that high from Saturday on Sunday, and then boom, game 2 on Monday. So I'm also using today as kind of an off day before game 3 tomorrow to kind of get life back in order at the house.
The work continues for us up here. I've mentioned on this show before, I am a small part of a very large nonprofit group called the Pink Flamingos. And this weekend on Saturday, the Pink Flamingos and Celebrate De Pere, which is another amazing nonprofit committee here in our community, are combining forces, and we're throwing a giant Oktoberfest party on Saturday. One giant tent, 4 bands, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and there's a lot of work that needs to be done between now and then. So the rest of my day today, along with just normal work, is making sure that I's are dotted, T's are crossed. That is coming up fast on Saturday at Legion Park in De Pere. So if you are in our area here in Northeast Wisconsin, we'd love to have you. Check it out. Search the Pink Flamingo Classic on Facebook to learn more. We did an awesome video, myself and Brandon from Celebrate De Pere. Go look it up. Literally go on Facebook and type the Pink Flamingo Classic. And we went around with Brandon and Lederhosen, and we cheers to all the different things around town. It's hilarious.
I love that.
I do say so myself. Update, breaking news.
Uh-oh.
I just learned who Kristen Cottage Grove is.
Oh, boy.
And then I believe I know the source.
Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Detective Trevor on the case.
Well, I got bailed out by a text message who has the insider information as to what happened here. So that's great. It's really great. I know exactly who it is, when I said it, what I said,
with one eye
how
open.
much context this was taken out of. In case you missed it, go back on the YouTube or watch for the clip today. There's no more water in here. No equipment was ruined.
What happened? Is your laptop okay?
A water bottle tipped over. The laptop appears to be okay.
Okay.
I went and got a lot of paper towel real quickly.
I mean, you got to put that whole laptop in rice. That's going to be tough.
It was only on the cover.
Okay.
I think. I don't think it got on the motherboard or all those things. Good Lord.
Woo! And the
All right.
Brewers are up 2-0 on the Cubs.
That's nuts.
Let's go.
That's nuts. When you and I did our picks,
Yeah.
I did call this, but not because I thought it was going to happen. It's because it's you did picks based on what you thought was going to happen and not what you wanted to happen. I don't have that ability. I make picks about what I think could happen based on what I want to happen.
Yes.
And I said that I think the Brewers could sweep the Cubs.
Which
it could
they
still
can.
happen.
Which they still can.
What do they have to do, Josh, in order for that to happen? Because we're talking like tomorrow.
Yeah, listen, what they have to do is they have to be locked in like they have been. They have to not overthink things just because now they're playing in Chicago and they're not at American Family Field. And more than anything, the decision to have Priester go in Game 3, because of all the reasons you said, right? They're relying on the fact that he's better away and all these other things. Well, now he's got to show up. He's got to prove that theory right, and Priester has to go and put on a display in Wrigley.
6-1 on the road this year, Mr. Priester. A 2.91 ERA over 14 road starts. Quinn Priester gets the start tomorrow for the Milwaukee Brewers at the Chicago Cubs. 408 start. 408.
Which means that, it's not late enough. At the very least, if you're going down to the game, you're taking a half day from work, if not a full day off. You're not going to be able to go after work like some Cub fans were able to for the game last night coming up from Chicago, even though the weather wasn't great. I also did hear from Tommy that Milwaukee's going to have a train going straight from downtown to Wrigleyville. So for the game. So they're trying to do everything they can as well to make sure that Brewers Nation shows up down there.
And if you're not jumping on that train or not taking the day off and going down, you need to join Josh and Sparky and Tommy tomorrow afternoon. There will be a giant watch party at Natty Oaks Pub and Eatery on National Avenue in West Dallas, starting at 2. Wisconsin Sports Daily, the leadoff show with Tommy Wartz on a big bowl of chili on a Wednesday. For our guy, Josh Albrecht. All tomorrow afternoon, watch party, Natty Oaks Pub and Eatery on National Avenue in West Dallas.
Yes, many members of the fan will be there. We might see Trevor. We might see Kuhn.
Maybe. I haven't talked to my wife about this yet, but maybe.
They're all mites, but come anyway. We'll see who's there. It's going to be a blast. Cheer on the crew. Let's take care of business.
Well, they've done it twice, and hopefully they can do it a third time, and we can move on from this dreaded series and go from there. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Thanks for listening here. It is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We will see you tomorrow.
Because we are not done yet.